So as you guys know, I'm now back from Ohio. I went to the first of many this year aquarium clubs to give a presentation, increase their membership, film some fish rooms, film some local fish stores, and truly get re-inspired, as well as bring you along for the trip and show you why. Well, that was the first slide of my talk. Anyways, so I get back from Ohio a day late. It was the next morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I actually got into the driveway. Flights delayed, canceled, etc. You know the deal these days. I go to bed. I wake up later in the day, and my power flickers. Not a big deal. Power flickers all the time around here. The most annoying part about it is, setting the microwave again, of all things. A couple of hours go by, and that's where I realize that we don't have any running water. Do the basic diagnostics, and it turns out that my well pump, which at this point is like 40 plus years old, simply needs to be replaced. Not something I could do, so I call a plumber. They come out, they replace the pump, water turns back on, they leave, and my house starts to flood. Yeah, I know, every time I leave, something bad happens. No need to continuously remind me. I call the plumbers back, they come back and fix the leaking well. My well was overflowing so much it was overflowing into the house. They get the well to stop leaking. They get the house to stop flooding. And now my well won't stop overflowing. The only way to fix it is to run a hose into the pond and to take the pressure off the well. And it's been like 5 days of that. And if I shut the tap off to outside, the well in the front begins to like gush water again. I'm like, guys, you need to fix this. And they're like, well, it's not really our problem. It's just a coincidence that this happened. I was like, well, everybody in my neighborhood has this same well. We're all on the same well. I've lived here for 12 years. None of our wells have ever done this before. I live on a really steep hill, and you would think that at the bottom of the hill they would have more floods than I do. Nobody's does. Anyways, that's something I got to deal with. And again, every time I go somewhere, something bad happens. But not this time. Well, I guess that was bad, but it's not like as good as the good story. While in Ohio, I stopped by Ohio Fish Rescue. I personally filmed like 4 videos while there. You've only technically seen one of them, our top 3 fish. And I uploaded that just to upload something because it didn't need any editing or whatever. And I'm dealing with floods and, my basement's destroyed. And just put it through your insurance, I was told. Anyways, my time at Ohio Fish Rescue was absolutely amazing. Completely, entirely enjoyed myself. I wish, well, me and Rich talked about this. We wish that we had filmed more videos. We didn't. And the truth of the matter is we were just so excited to hang out that we wanted to do that more than we wanted to make videos. I got more coming out. They'll come out shortly. But I clearly got a few things on the go. We also did some fish store tours. You guys have seen one of them so far. Now, when I went to that store, I'll be honest with you, I haven't filmed a new store. I haven't filmed a fish room. I haven't done many of those things literally for like years now, besides like my own local fish stores, which I'm in there so much and I've filmed them so many times it just comes second nature. But it's like I haven't gone to fish rooms. I haven't done hobbyist events. I haven't done fish club stuff. I haven't done fish room. I haven't done new stores literally in years. And I got to admit, like, man, I came home it was after this trip for the first time that I understood for the first time why you guys watch my videos or why you like them. Because you're not going to do any of this. I know that. Some of you might. But it's because you're injected with all of this life and inspiration. And, I get it now. And I'm so grateful that these people let me in their homes. And the stories is what I liked. One of these fish rooms that we went to was run by a gentleman that's been doing what I'm doing for I think 60 years, he said. Except on a much more respectable level. This guy, I believe, and I have to look at the footage and whatnot, but he's like a 4 or 5 time master breeder. You know how you hear master breeder, you see people clickbaiting and stuff, and then you're like, oh wow, this guy did it 5 times with 5 different clubs, with all different fish. Blew my mind. So I was going into his fish room thinking, I guess that I'll just film what he's doing, what he's up to. But once I was there, well, this will describe what I did. By ending the tour, this is what I said.
And it's been a real pleasure just getting to hear you. I'm a talker, and this is one of the first times I knew when to shut up. So thank you for teaching us today.
And so true. You guys know I can't stop talking, but the stories that came out of him, you guys are going to absolutely love. I'm so excited to show you that side of the hobby where we've already done the fish store tours, we've already done room tours, we've already done all these things, but we've never done it this way, where these people are letting in my home and I'm just allowing, I guide it a little bit, but we just see where it goes. And every time it's stories. And we went to another fish room where he's breeding like a pro on a very small level. Guys, I came home so energized and inspired and ready to rock and roll, and it was for the first time in many years that I felt like an aquarium hobbyist again, instead of Joey the YouTuber that's got to put out the video and put out a video and put out the video and the next one and the best one, and it's got to be bigger and badder, and I got to build these big old gaudy things that is not a reflection of who I am as a hobbyist. I am so grateful for aquarium clubs, and I gotta tell you, we're doing it all year long. I believe the next one, I think I'm taking April off because I got to do something, but the next one's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. If you're not following me, damn, whoever built this knew what they were doing. The next one's going to be in Atlanta. If you're not following me on Instagram, that's where I post, like, in my pinned stories. I don't know what they're called, but that's where all the next places, locations, and dates are going to be. I started telling the members of this channel, you know that little join button? You know that little join button? Like, where am I? I think it's down there. Anyways, no, wait. I think it's like right there. Joey flipped this in editing. So anyways, down there, it's a join button. Join the membership, you get like whatever I advertise on there, a bunch of stuff, but one of them is I show them everything and I run plans through them selfishly because I'm like, oh, I got a bunch of people that are like serious hobbyists that would love to give me their opinion and see this stuff. So I kind of take advantage of it that way where I share them a bunch of stuff. I was telling them about a year ago I was building 21 new aquariums. It didn't happen. Oh, stay put. There's another broken camera. Man, I break these a lot. I'm gonna bring it up to prove it to you. As I find this, I just wanna say, like, I know I've been dragging my butt on everything. I'll even admit, like, for the longest time, I didn't have any inspiration or passion or anything. You know, it's easy to become a YouTuber and like make videos for a couple of years and, you know, hit the ground running and, you know, but when you're doing it for so long and you're not getting any inspiration from anything or anybody, and, you know, you can't even leave your house for years on end, it becomes hard to even want to pick up the camera and do this. I needed this trip. I needed this exposure to hobbyists again, and just to feel that energy and those conversations and talks. And it's not like even you copy all my stuff. It's like you're just inspired. I forgot what that felt like, and man, I'm so glad. Anyways, here's the 21 tanks. So the members only. So this one's like I'm building 21 fish tanks. Here's was the designs and stuff like that. Anyways, you can see 1 year ago. Obviously that never happened, and I did this instead. Guys, you let me do this. You let me get away with this. Oh, how am I gonna get you down? It's not bad. It's not all that bad. I like it. I mean, I had good intentions. It's just kind of like ugly and doesn't make sense for what I want to do. And like maybe if it was like at a dentist office or something, I don't know. But like in my aquarium gallery, nah. This is like, it's pretty cool. And a lot of things I was doing was, you know, pretty neat, you know, couches and chairs, and, you know, this was here, and kind of a place to kind of, and a lot of people love this rendition of the gallery. It's 100% been my least favorite. I'm about to embark onto something that I can never change again. To emphasize on the fact that I've been dragging my butt, I did order the acrylic to build new tanks. I ordered it a month ago, and it was ready to pick up before I went to Ohio, darn near 2 weeks ago. And it's just like I just wasn't excited. I just wasn't really looking forward to it. I'm like, all right, move some tanks around again and add some more in and like have no purpose. Just make more videos. And then I got back from Ohio and I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Boy, does that brighten it up in here. That's one thing I hated about this rendition, is because it was just so dark and gloomy and kind of gross, and I just didn't like it. So I'm building 9 aquariums. All right, before that was anticlimactic. I'm building 9, I'm adding a total of 35 in here. Currently, as we sit here, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 tanks with water in it, besides quarantine and besides like other fish that are in holding tanks. There's gonna be 35 by the time we're done. At the end of 30 days, something like that. I'm going to put this rack of tanks right here. I'm putting them here for a simple reason. These tanks are almost symbolically going where the original 120s were. The original purpose of the aquarium gallery, which I said before single fish was out here, we're gonna add a bunch of these tanks in here. We'll stock them, we'll scape them, we'll stock them. By the time we get to the last one, maybe a year has gone by, we'll start over again. And like I just did that over and over, and then it like infected the rest of the gallery, that was never supposed to happen. But at that time, there was only 12 tanks total out here, so it made sense to keep cycling through those ones. Now, I'm not cycling through these ones, and there is only 9, but they're going to be more hobbyist, relatable sizes, 60 gallon, 40 gallon, 20 gallon, that type of thing. I'll show you their exact measurements in a minute on Photoshop. So I needed this wall, so I needed everything to get out of the way. We had the couch here, remember? We had a 70 gallon here we built. We had another 70 gallon over there. They're in here now. This room is done. This room I'm not touching again. 700 gallon piranha tank is staying. The fish will always, this will always be a 700 gallon planted piranha tank. You know, I don't know, unless something so dramatic happens, but like that doesn't happen to my tanks. I've had tanks break, but like I don't have tanks crashing. I don't have fish just dropping and I don't know why. Things don't just die in my tanks. Fish do jump and they can fight, but it's not like, I'm not going to have an impact on that. Look at his tail sticking out. The piranha just dive into the plants. Anyways, I don't know what we're doing with this, but I just realized that I'm gonna have to use this tank for a few days for the saltwater fish. We'll get to that in a minute. Tyrese has been moved over here and he absolutely adores this area. He's so active, he's always literally right there, and it's like his own little Amazonian area. We took all the plants and everything and stuck them above the tanks. They used to be above the 2000, if you remember. The 2000 used to have rocks on it. I took it all off so I don't break anything, and I have a little bit more room, because this stuff was like upwards of 10 inches in width. The tank rack's only gonna be 16 inches front to back. That bench is 24 inches, so it's gonna be even smaller than that, which means we're gonna have a massive amount of space here. We'll be able to sit and look at these tanks, sit and look at that tank. It'll be 13 feet long, darn near all the way to that tank there. This is like actually 15 feet. I'm excited to scape these tanks and plant these tanks. If we're doing some plants, we'll be doing. What I'm most excited about is like, YouTube's kind of taken over my hobby. You know, do what's best, do what the algorithm wants, do what everybody likes to see. And then like I always like came last, and I've never had normal sized tanks. I always had these big godly tanks. And that's the thing with the 180s, was they're not that bad. It's that when these were bought for the public aquarium, and when the public aquarium fell through, I had 10 180 gallon aquariums sitting outside. I had to do something. I was like, okay, well, we'll just bring them into the gallery, and then we got, you know, tanks we can set up and have fun with and that sort of thing. And it was never in the plan. I was just adjusting and adjusting and adjusting. It just didn't like it. Build these 9 tanks. Let me show you them. No, let me show you the rest of the plants. This is one problem though. Remember this planted tank we had back here? The next day after I planted him, all the plants died. Well, didn't die, they all melted. Now, I did get a message from the seller right after I put out the unboxing video. He's like, man, those plants are in really bad shape. He's like, I don't think they'll make them. And I was like, no, they look great to me. And he was right. Within a day or two, they were all melted. I left this tank running with those plants in it because plants can melt. For 2 months, they did not bounce back. I had some of the best lighting in the industry. We had CO2 tanks. We had dosing. I could do absolutely anything to revive them. They were just gone. I saw it as a sign. I stripped it out. The plants in the aquaponics room in this aquaponics area didn't work out. Saw it as a sign, ripped it out. This used to have the severums. I took them and put them down here for the time being. I thought, well, what's the point of having that tank running? It was just like looking bad anyway. I want to use this tank to put my stingrays in. I want to take it and I want to put it right there. I want to breed my rays. I want to be able to actually see them. It's incredibly difficult to not only see them, but to enjoy the rays in this tank. Obviously on camera we can kind of see, but we're looking over an 8-inch ledge. We never get to see them up close. We never get to see their details. Well, at least I don't. I guess I could film it on video a little bit. And keep this tank. I'm going to also take out the sunshine pleco, put them in with the discus. But this is what the layout's going to be now. This room's all going to stay the same. New racking system here. This is being taken out. These two 180s are I'm going to build a stand here. They're going to stand one on top of the other. They're going to be 6 feet tall total, so maybe right to here. But so will that rack as well, so it's going to be symmetrical. This is going here. These two tanks are being taken out, and this 375 gallons going right there. I'm going to take one of these 180s, put it under the 375 to use it as its filter as a sump. So we'll go from it being 375 gallons to darn near 500 gallon system. Absolutely fantastic and perfect for the rays, but I'm also going to take the 2,000 gallon and tie the filtration into the 180, so it now goes from like a 500 gallon system to a 2,500 gallon system. This tank, 375, is fantastic for those rays. It's not too small. They're not going to be cramped. It'd be absolutely perfect. Keep in mind, I've been keeping stingrays for well over a decade, I hate like when you gotta like brag or whatever, but there has been a species of stingray that I was the first one to breed it in captivity. So when some people say like, oh, you need this or you need that, you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt and be like, do you even have stingrays? What type of experience do you have? Et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't mean much to me. I'm going to build a new filter for the 2000. I want this gone. I want it to be a gallery in here. This is getting ridiculous. Oh, and in there, in the filtration room, guess what's going in there? Oh, so I went to all these fish rooms and I was jealous. I was like, I want to have this. I want to do this too. I used to do that. I don't know why I stopped, but I'm going to have 12 breeding tanks in there. Already ordered. Everything's ordered. Everything's paid for. This is happening. You're seeing the video on this video right now. Where's my phone? Technically, it's the 23rd to me, but it just turned midnight, so I guess it's the 24th. So I'm still living like it's Thursday, March 23rd. You will see this in a week or something like that, and I'm putting it out in advance or filming in advance because I want to get a lot done. I'm going to be so far ahead that there's no turning back, and it's just what I want to do. I got to do this. But then we got the middle of here. That leaves 180. I'm going to put it on the ground, and I'm going to build an 8-foot long table on top of it. That's 8 feet long, 2 feet wide. You guys see them every once in a while. Well, it's going to sit on a bit of a pedestal, and then the tank, and then a thick 1.5 inch thick veneer wood, just like I built out of this one, with some stools around it. Maybe my computer or something like that, because I'm going to be live streaming on Twitch. If you guys don't follow me on Twitch, make sure you do. And inside of it, I'm putting the frontosa. I got to keep my frontosa. No, none of the fish are leaving. The discus are probably going, I kind of want to put them at the bottom because they are a little bit finicky and whatnot. And the saltwater fish are going up top of it. These guys have to move to this tank for a few days, just till I get everything built and moved out of the way. I'll show you on Photoshop. This is what it's going to look like. This is the main entrance. That's a 70, that's a 70, that's a 700. That's me and Tamara. This is going to be the breeding room. Oh, and this wall. So this is staying. I think I'm going to knock this wall out. Just the wall, but keep the bridge above it and just have one curtain there. because I think I want to bring everything out a foot to have it like flat with here, and it gives me literally a foot extra of space. I'm only going to be using 7 feet. It's going to be 2 rows of 6 tanks. The filtration, everything's going to be done in this room, and I got to get this all cleaned up. It was fun. We enjoyed the video. I showed you how to make big filters out of big buckets and stuff, but I got a better idea. This is the new tanks and racking system. They're just front to back right now. They're going to be stacked on top of each other, but you can kind of see their dimensions. The bigger ones are 48 by 16 by 16. They're 54 gallons. These pink ones, or whatever color that is, 32 by 16 by 16. It's 36 gallons. And then we have 16 by 16 by 16, and it's about 18 gallons. 9 of them. Pretty cool, huh? Then the discus and salt. They're going to be all as long. This is 8 feet. That's the 375 with a 180 that's under it. This will be the Frontosa tank, which is has the table on it, so we sit here. There's 4 feet of space here. This is 6 feet once these are gone. Like this row's gone, we'll have about 6 feet. It's very spacious, yet we're going from 6 tanks to 35, and it's gonna have so much room for activities. Guys, I'm pumped. I'm going to build this out to be 8 feet long and put their filters behind them, but I want them to all kind of be leveled out. Personally, I think that's an absolutely phenomenal idea. I'm excited already. Like it's so much brighter in here right now, and it's gonna look good. I gotta repaint the walls. I gotta make it look nice again, you know. The Frontosa tank probably be on one of the canisters that are already cycled. The discus and salt probably use the filters that they're already running. Build the filter for the 375, tie the 2,000 gallon into it. I thought about tying the 700 into the 2,000, but I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to mess with it at all. Perfect amount of nutrients, clearly. Like this tank is doing absolutely insane. Plus I don't want to have all these snails in every other tank that I have. Although the rays would eat them. Yeah, that's true. This tank will end up with all the Oscars. It will have the arowana. It will have the Bisher. And that's it. Besides, the red-tailed catfish is going in here as well. So that would be pretty cool. And we'll see how everything goes so long as he gets along with everybody. I might eventually have to move the Bisher out, maybe put him in with the rays or something. But that Sunshine Pleco is going to go with the discus for sure. Who else is in there that might have to come out? That's it. And this will be like a monster tank. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I was also talking to Mara, like it would be so fun to like snorkel with them. I don't want to do it for like clickbait videos, but you guys do love seeing that. She said she would never get in because the arowana might bite her or the catfish might bite her. I said they wouldn't. And the Oscars won't. They might, but I'm gonna need you guys to, in the comments, to drown anybody out that says they will bite. Just say, those fish don't bite, those fish don't bite, so we can get her in there. And then the koi that are in here, they're going to a special project that's happening shortly. They might go in the 2,000 for now and grow them out a little bit more until they're ready. Aren't they looking beautiful? But look at these Frontosa, just absolutely phenomenal. This tank is dark. Look at my little emo catfish back there. I'm telling you, I have one. He's back there. It doesn't even want to float. My camera doesn't even want to look at him. And then there's like some stragglers like the festivums and stuff, and I think I'll just put those guys in with the discus. They do well with discus anyways, often found in the same parts. I don't know if I'll put the severums in there with the discus because the severums are a little small, and the the discus are a little small right now, and the severums can be sometimes aggressive. Where's Big Daddy? There he is, right there in the back. Isn't he beautiful? But imagine the desk. And I think I'm gonna do it black and white, just like them. Oh man, it's gonna be phenomenal. Anyways, I'm putting this video up now. I don't know when it's gonna come out, but so far you guys are loving the tours that I'm doing and everything else that I've done in Ohio. And this is what this year is. This year is taking back the hobby. This is promoting it properly. This is being fish hobbyists as opposed to YouTubers. I'm not doing the big conventions where, you know, it really benefits nobody except a couple of people. It doesn't like further the hobby, because without fish clubs, guys, that's where I started. Without fish clubs, there would be no me. Without your local fish store, we don't have a hobby. We have to support them, and not just support them. It's like man, it's awesome. I love it. I enjoy it, and I can't wait to get back in it. But this year is all those trips. I mean, I plan to film probably 8 videos every time I go, and then 35 tank builds. Whew. That's a lot of work we got to do. And then finally, the grand finale, it looks like it might happen in September. You don't want to know about that. Members know what it is, but yeah, that's that. Hope you guys are enjoying everything so far. I gotta get back to work.